where the president is basically overstepping and trying to use the Justice Department as his own political arm. He is trying to break down kind of these traditional barriers, and the fact that he is now feuding with his own Chief Justice, a guy who could rule in his favor on some very significant pieces of the judiciary business in the coming weeks and months, is rather remarkable, and I think speaks to the continued erosion of our institutions.
It's hard to not see this as Donald Trump having an influence and an impact on yet again another institution, as you just said, the Supreme Court this time.
But it's also this larger theme where Donald Trump came to Washington, and all of the nuances and things that people in Washington take so seriously, the keeping the FBI at arm's distance, not talking about the judiciary, not talking about the stock market. He continues to just run into the face of that. He never was going to change, and he hasn't changed. And he has not changed even though he's been under investigation, even though some of this behavior has brought him under investigation for obstructing justice. And this just goes right into that story, I think.
It is a direct line. You know, as you mentioned, you were here today to talk about a story about the president wanting to use DOJ and the FBI, essentially the way other presidents of both parties have used the RNC and the DNC to prosecute basically public relations cases against his political opponents and his enemies. But it does seem that, and this was my question to Joyce and Chuck earlier, that the bar is so high for some of these people to engage. Do you think at the end of the day, more harm is done to Donald Trump, or do you think that more harm is done to the Supreme Court?
Politically speaking, I don't see any really harm for Donald Trump in this. I think that, you know, while it's a well-taken point that this is an ideal of the judicial system, that these judges not be judged according to who they were appointed by, this is something that all of us are aware of. And so when we see some of President Trump's executive orders being struck down by a judge out in San Francisco, we all kind of immediately look at that and say, oh, well, this was probably, you know, a more liberal judge or an Obama appointee. This is not something that is outside of the political discussion, but once it is very delicate, and once you take it beyond, you know, just mentioning who these judges were appointed by, and you say, these are basically doing the bidding of Barack Obama. You are stepping over a line, and you are taking a very delicate situation that the American people generally don't understand and can be very easily influenced on, and that can have a very significant impact.
The president has finished his thought. Let's see if we have that. All right, sorry, Chief Justice John Roberts, but you do indeed have Obama judges, and they have a much different point of view than the people who are charged with the safety of our country. It would be great if the Ninth Circuit was indeed an independent judiciary, but if it is, why, ... are so many opposing view on border and safety cases filed there? And why are a vast number of those cases overturned? Please study the numbers. They are shocking. We need protection and security. These rulings are making our country unsafe, very dangerous and unwise. So I guess the caravan ran out of its political usefulness to him. He's now beating up on the Ninth Circuit, Chuck. That does seem like a very Trumpian tactic and a very, very political argument from the president.
It is a political argument from the president. We shouldn't be surprised by that. But if I may humbly offer a brief history lesson. In U.S. v. Nixon, the Supreme Court case in which the Supreme Court ruled unanimously in justice recused against the president. Four of those justices were appointed by President Nixon, and Clinton v. Jones, in which the Supreme Court ruled unanimously against President Clinton. Two of those justices were appointed by President
They're gone. Look at.
This is what we mean when we talk about
they're all gone.
The independence of our Article III judges.
What if these big ones are going there?
The president is a political actor and the head of the
Try these big
executive.
ones.
But the judges are not political actors,
These are dry
regardless of what
ones.
the president calls them. They are simply not that.
Mike, your reporting on the flashpoints
try
and
tomorrow,
the
though.
obstruction of justice
Try these ones.
investigation reveal at
This
best
might be a little bit
great
harder to get
ignorance
out.
about what Chuck is, I think, is describing
I
as
don't even know
independence
if
of the
they'll come out.
judiciary, grave ignorance or
they do.
about the FBI and DOJ. How goes the education of Donald Trump, from his lawyers, from his White House
Funny,
counsel
right?
office, from